Today, we are going to be definitively settling a disagreement between a daughter who's engaged in a bit of, good old entrepreneurial spirit, started her own content creation thing, and a father who is, according to him, trying to enforce a bit of equality between his different daughters. So here are the details of it. This guy who posted on Reddit, hopefully he'll see this so he'll know what to do. Says, my daughter, who's 15, has gathered some following on social media and started to get approached by some brands to promote their products. I don't know the first thing about this digital influencer culture, but I like that she's happy creating her content, so that's good. But says, I told my daughter from day one that it will be put away for her so she can access her money when she turns 18. My view is that for as long as she's a minor and unable to make more informed financial decisions, she should get by on her allowance just as my other two children, which are both daughters, did. Now, apparently the daughter who's now making big bucks doesn't like this, says she pointed out that I allow my other daughter to keep and spend the earnings from her babysitting gigs. It's a ridiculous comparison because a teen having some pocket money from babysitting as a compliment to their allowance doesn't even begin to compare the kind of money my other daughter is making now. But it's a fair point and I gave her that. No, you didn't. I mean, you acknowledged the point, but you didn't at all shift your position based on it, so you didn't give her anything. But anyway, he has a compromise. So I told her we can use this as a reference. We could take an average of what her sister was earning with babysitting, or what her brother was earning flipping burgers in the fast food industry, or what most teenagers would realistically be expected to earn in this phase of life. I said I'd agree to take a similar amount from her earnings every month so she could complement her allowance, but the bulk of it would still be put away until she turns 18. So we're gonna get to some of the faults, but I am curious. I wanna jump in and get your thoughts since you are a parent as well. Is he guilty being wrong in stopping her from using the money that she is going out there and earning by the content that she's producing?
I need some clarifications on his compromise. He's gonna allow her to have the same amount of money that he said before.
So basically,
she
they
shouldn't
all
get
get
more.
allowance.
She shouldn't get more than what her sister got as a babysitter and all that stuff. That's what he said before. Then the compromise came, okay, we'll do it this way. You get the same amount that your sister got babysitting and your brother got flipping burgers. Where's the compromise? He just said, our compromise is we'll do what I said.
No. So I can explain that. So initially it was just she gets her allowance. And she said, well, my sister also makes a bit of extra money as a babysitter. So a compromise is you can get like the average of what this side hustle would bring in, but you can't bring in, the thousands or whatever it is that you're making off your content.
Well,
what do you think?
His kids are already getting by because the allowance, I thought, ends once you get a job, bro. That's why you get a job, so I can stop paying you this allowance. Anyways, but okay, his kids get the double pay, great. This is one of those instances where I would probably give more leeway to my kid because it's my kid. I know my kid, I know how he may be, at least currently. He's not 16 or 15 yet. But I think I could give him more leeway. He won't be one of those radical, irresponsible children who go wild with their money and then do stupid things. And next they're flashing it and then they get assaulted. All that stuff that could happen with a kid who's just wild and gets a chance to run around with their money and just do whatever they want with it. So I get that. And I think there is a protection involved with his father doing it. So this is one of those cases where I'm like, oh, it kind of sucks for that kid. That's your father. It's his idea. Go for it. Like, I can't judge him on that. Everybody's kid is different and everybody responds to their kid differently. And I have to go with the assumption that this guy knows what he's doing with his parenting and with his particular kid. She's gonna be okay. As long as he's not ripping her off and taking her money behind closed doors like we've seen some celebrity parents do historically throughout the time. But as long as he's honest and he's actually gonna get her money when she turns 18, I think it's a little bit too strict. But who am I to say anything about this guy? So not guilty for the father.
Okay, not guilty. Who you are is Justice Jackson. That's who you are. So you're saying not guilty.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, look, he says he's not taking any of the money. The rest of the family isn't taking any money. It's all being put away. We have no idea if any of this is true. This is just what they say is happening. Right. Yeah, so it is very difficult, I think, to accept that your hard work that you're doing has no real immediate impact for you. And I think that overall, it's probably better that you allow it to just accrue interest, maybe invest it or whatever in an index fund. And then by the time she gets to be 18, is a whole bunch more money. But kids aren't gonna accept that. They want the money now. It's difficult to imagine the future. You think you're always gonna be 14 or whatever. And so that is very difficult. On the other hand, if I think about when I was 15, if I was suddenly pulling in like $1,000 a week, man, I'd be wasting some money. But isn't it your money to waste? Because you didn't make it. So Look, I don't know the kid. I don't know how responsible she is, but she's working hard, and honestly, wasting all of that money could itself be a life lesson. So I think in this case, I'm going to have to rule guilty. I think that you gotta give her the chance to fail. I'm not saying this is how I will run things in my own family. I am a hypocrite as a justice, but anyway, that's what I think. And so we unfortunately have a split decision. So we apparently, is so often the case, need to go to Twitch, where the voting is in. Is the father treating his influencer daughter unfairly? No. So that would be not guilty. And J.R. Jackson's side wins the day. Apparently, most people think that you should have these heavy restrictions on the spending, or I guess the ability to access the money of a kid. And the thing is, honestly, like, this may seem like, a random thing, like, oh, how many people have a 15-year-old bringing in big money, but way more than used to. I think this is not like a couple of child actors or something. Lots of kids, I think, are posting YouTube videos and TikToks and stuff like that. So anyway, this is something that could strike home. So prepare.
Absolutely.
That's the ruling of the court.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The court is quite smart. I agree.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.